The doll that answered back, with a voice it shouldn't have. Econa, fact or fiction. It started as the perfect Christmas gift, a simple pink-cheeked doll with big glassy eyes and a soft voice that whispered, "I love you." At first, 5-year-old Emily adored it. She carried it everywhere, tucking it under the covers at bedtime, pressing its stomach just to hear that sweet little phrase. But then, the voice changed. One night, as Emily lay curled in bed, she squeezed the doll absent-mindedly, expecting the usual words of comfort. But instead, the doll hesitated, crackled, and then whispered, "I see you." Emily's heart stopped. She stared at the doll, her tiny fingers trembling as she pressed it again. Nothing. Again. Nothing. She bolted out of bed, running straight into her parents' room, the doll clutched against her chest like a ticking time bomb. "Mommy, the doll said something weird." Her mother sighed, took the doll and pressed it herself. "I love you." A perfect, normal, mechanical response. Emily's father grunted. "Just a glitch, sweetheart. Go back to bed." The little girl nodded reluctantly, but something felt wrong. She tucked the doll under her bed that night, just in case. But the next night, it got worse. Emily lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, her heart still uneasy. Against her better judgment, she reached down, pulling the doll out from under the bed. She pressed its stomach. This time, the voice was lower, distorted. "Let me out," Emily screamed. Her parents, now fully awake, rushed into her room. She was shaking, the doll dangling from her fingers like it burned her. Her mother grabbed it, pressing its stomach furiously. "I love you," her father sighed. "It's just a broken toy, Em. Look, I'll take out the batteries, okay?" He flipped it over, unscrewed the battery compartment, and froze. There were no batteries inside. The room fell, dead silent. His wife's voice wavered. That's not possible." They threw the doll into the trash, its plastic face staring up at them from the darkness of the garbage bin. That night, Emily barely slept. But just before she finally drifted off, she heard it, a faint giggle, not from outside, not from her parents' room, from the hallway. Her breath caught. The room was dark, but she swore she saw a small shadow pass by her door. The next morning, her mother went to take the trash out. She lifted the lid of the garbage bin, feeling a slight wave of relief. The doll was gone. For a moment, she thought maybe her husband had thrown it away completely. Maybe it was over, until she walked back inside and found it, sitting in the middle of Emily's bed, her legs buckled. "John?" Her husband turned the corner, his face pale. I didn't put that there." Emily refused to go near it. Her parents, now on the verge of panic, didn't bother arguing this time. They grabbed the doll, stuffed it into a plastic bag, wrapped it in duct tape, and drove it 20 miles away to dump it in a donation bin. When they returned home, the house felt lighter, safer, until nightfall. Emily's mother stirred awake, her throat dry. She got up for a glass of water, rubbing the sleep from her eyes. The hallway was quiet, except for a soft thud coming from Emily's room. She crept toward the door, her heart hammering. She pushed it open, and there it was, the doll, sitting perfectly upright on Emily's pillow. Its plastic lips curved into a grin that wasn't there before. Her mother screamed. The family moved out the next day. No one knows what happened to the doll after that. Some say it still turns up in thrift stores, waiting for its next owner. Others claim it's a spirit attached to something much darker. But one thing is for certain. Before they left the house, as they packed their bags and loaded up the car, Emily's father swore he heard a voice, a soft whisper, coming from an empty room. "That won't stop me." Fact or fiction? You decide. Would you keep a doll that talked back, or would you burn it?